Hey, it's definitely been a while. There's gonna be a bit of a different video, but not really. It's kind of gonna be a bite-sized review, but technically it isn't because it's gonna be scripted, but semi-unscripted too. So, I just wanted to pump something out. Sorry if my voice sounds a bit different. I'm very dehydrated right now, so I'm just recording this off the bat. So, yeah, something a bit different and something I guess a bit shorter than I normally put out. So, let's get into it. So, I came back a couple hours ago from seeing Evil Dead Rise. Well, it's opening weekend. Who knows what film this will even come out day of. So, I definitely have a lot of thoughts. If it is obvious enough, just from my Letterboxd, I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. So yeah, when I heard this movie was in production, I was definitely excited per se. And I mean, I don't have high expectations like everything. Nonetheless, Evil Dead. Well, that's kind of an insult because, you know, they're you kind of get what you get when you go into an Evil Dead movie. So, and I mean, yeah, it didn't disappoint. I got what I expected. It wasn't bad. It was really good. I shouldn't say it wasn't good, but yeah, it was really good. Probably the best horror film out right now. But there's quite a bit to talk about. I have like a little list here. That's why I said it's semi-unscripted, so I could actually stay somewhat on par on what I have to talk about. So, yeah, I guess we can get talking to those right now. Just a quick heads up, if you're gonna continue watching, there's gonna be some minor spoilers ahead about this movie, or there's probably gonna be quite a bit because I have some stuff to talk about. So, yeah, let's just get straight into talking about all this stuff right now. It opens up with classic Evil Dead, cabin, teenagers, and one teenager gets possessed. Usually a girl, oddly enough. Now that I mentioned that. It was odd to start in the woods, really. Mostly because I think everybody already knows that we're in an LA apartment building. Oh, that's a weird thing too. But I'll get to that a bit later. But yeah, you open in the woods, and it feels somewhat out of place, to me at least, because, as I said, not the whole film, besides the opening, of course, but basically 99% of the film is taking place in the LA high-rise, and to open in the woods, it kind of takes you out of it. Like, it feels almost last minute. Like, I kind of see no point to have that kind of opening, I guess, to appeal to the older crowd, because, Evil Dead, almost all the films take place inside the woods, so I guess that's kind of for that reason, and just so you get a taste of what Lee Cronin wanted to do. Like, I could kind of see what they want to do, but at the same time, I don't see a point to it because, I feel like it would have better to just cut that out. I mean, because those characters don't even show up. Like, only one character from the beginning shows up at the very end of the film, and that's because that scene takes place a day after the rest of the film. So yeah, the opening takes place after the entire film, even though it really doesn't have like too much interconnectivity to the rest of the film, besides one character that probably doesn't even have like 5 minutes of screen time throughout the entire film. So yeah, I mean, that could have been cut out, and maybe the one character, I even forget their names, and I just got done seeing it, could have been cut out and just ended with walking out of the slain deadites, because I think that would have been more satisfying than just jumping straight into the premise. I don't think it was too necessary. But I mean, hey, I guess we got a pretty kick-ass scalp rip from the opening, so it was a good head start gore-wise, because if there's something Evil Dead films are really good at, it's the gore. So yeah, I should probably get to talk about the gore as well. As I said, the Evil Dead films are really good when it comes to the gore, especially 2013. I should say, I saw the first trailer on YouTube through an ad, of all things, because I really don't go out of my way to watch trailers actively. Usually if I've seen them in theaters, like through an ad or something, that'll just be the way I see it. So I saw the trailer, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna cheese grate the fuck out of that leg. Oh my god, her neck is piercing with all this glass. Oh my god, it's gonna be so cool. If you've seen the trailer, you kind of already seen those shots because it was kind of building up to show like oh, there's gonna be more to this because they cut straight away to something else in the trailer from what I remember, at least. And it remains the same way in the film, which I was kind of disappointed by. I was expecting to get more of that in the film. Because, you know, as I said, 2013 had some really good gore, and just the entire series does, so it kind of felt a bit lazy, although I don't think the budget was very high. I could be wrong on that, though. I didn't do, like, too much research before recording the audio for this. So, there probably wasn't enough budget to, but, I mean, the film already has some great practical effects, don't get me wrong. Because there's some stuff they obviously didn't want to show in the trailer. And I think they are definitely better than what's shown. And they're definitely worth it. Like, just to see. Like, there's some good quality time spent on the practical effects. There's a pretty good, or I think it might be CGI, actually, like, part of it. But it's still, like, somewhat practical. But someone gets their eye gouged, well, not gouged out, but they get it torn off. So that's actually really fucking cool. Obviously. And then that same character actually gets his throat slit, and that's all practical. So normally those wouldn't be too impressive, but yeah, it's impressive, honestly. Let's see, what else can I remember on my head? Oh yeah, near the end of the film, where like the being or whatever, I don't know what's officially called, like it starts getting dismembered in the wood chip, and that's pretty badass. And the whole ending, oddly enough, reminds me a lot of the 2013 film. But yeah, that's something I noticed a lot. The film, it definitely has its nods and callbacks to almost every film in the series. I wouldn't say too much Army of Darkness though, but it's definitely very noticeable with the first two films and the Fede Alvarez film. But the Fede Alvarez film is really noticeable because of a lot of things. Of course, you have your actual final girl, because Ash isn't in either films. Or, no, that's a lie. Ash appears for, like, under a minute, like a post-credit scene in the 2013 one. But, oh yeah, no post-credit scene in Evil Dead Rise, as far as I'm concerned. And then you have... The endings are really familiar or, I mean, they're not really, but, like, you could point out the familiarities in the endings of both the Fede Alvarez film and Evil Dead Rise. You know, you have your female protagonist. She's got a chainsaw. Her hand doesn't get torn off. Is it odd to say that I was a bit disappointed that didn't happen? I mean, I guess it's a good thing, but yeah, but. Yeah, her hand doesn't get torn off like Mia's does in the Fede Alvarez film. It ends with this amalgamation of, like, I guess, the symbolism that are noticeable in both films, because if you recall, the Fede Alvarez film kind of dealt with the theme of addiction and all that, and the final being was kind of a reflection of Mia herself, which was kind of cool, but it was kind of, like, underwhelming at the same time. But this whole film kind of has, like, some symbolism with the themes of birth, motherhood, and creation, which I kind of thought was a bit cool. But yeah, that final creature is really cool. It's definitely way more cool looking than the one in Fede Alvarez's film. Well, I guess Fede Alvarez's film was definitely more symbolic in its themes. So that was probably a bit of a hint to it, but I think Evil Dead Rise really does kind of get the seriousness from Fede Alvarez's films really well, and the campiness of 2 especially. It's almost like you merged Evil Dead 2 and the Fede Alvarez film into one. And I think that's a good thing, that's for sure. Even though the similarities are really blatant between the two. But, you know, there's some callbacks, of course, to the Sam Raimi films. You have you know, Dead by Dawn, or I'll swallow your soul, I'll swallow your soul. And of course, the eyeball in the mouth, which is also referenced in Drag Me to Hell. Oh yeah, and Sam Raimi's car isn't in here, as far as I know. It might have been in the parking lot. I don't recall it being there though, so just to let you know. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? Oh yeah, of course cinematography is really good. I think that's to be expected for an Evil Dead film though. You know, it had that classic camera angles of like the evil or the Deadites, I guess, moving throughout the scenery. And the scenery is really cool too. The whole LA skyrise thing, I think it's the best step up from The Cabin in the Woods, even if the film did start off for that the first 10 minutes. Oh, sorry. You know, there's still like the trademarks, or I guess, you know, you have if you remember how in the Fede Alvarez film, in the first two films, there was like the tree that got like really gropey. That's kind of here, although it's not as gropey, I guess. It still strangles what's her name, Beth, in the elevator, because the branches are replaced with the elevator wires, which I thought was a neat little addition. But yeah, that's something in this film. It replaces the elements that you normally associate with The Cabin in the Woods in the previous films with different objects in the LA skyrise, or I guess some shared links. But that also leads into the homages to the rest of the series, because another notable example was the main apartment door. That basically serves as like the cellar door that's present in basically the entire series. But at this point, by entire series, I basically just mean every film besides Army of Darkness. No hate towards Army of Darkness. It's equally as good, but you know, I don't think they're going to do a full-on medieval tie-in. It would be cool though. In terms of characters, I mean, they're all right. To be honest, it's to be expected from a horror film. I mean, they're definitely not bad characters overall. Each character serves their purpose. Of course, the main girl, Beth, is a badass, because frankly, your final girl should be whoever's going to wield that chainsaw at the end. So, but everyone else is like, they're not either fully developed, which is the case for most of the neighbors' characters, who I don't even know the names, and the rest of the family, which they also serve their purpose. I mean, they're not, you can't really hate them, and they're nice, they're charismatic, they're charming. There's enough to like them too. So yeah, the character's all right. Nothing to write too much home about. But I mean, they're still there, still good characters, and yeah, the whole apartment setting is really fun. As I said, it's a step up, and it's a nice way to have something familiar yet something different, in my opinion. Overall, I think I did really like the film. I mean, as I said, I can't really hate it. It's an Evil Dead film. It's like my favorite franchise of all time, and I got what I expected. The gore was good as I expected. It was fun. I wasn't bored. If you liked any other film in the franchise, I guarantee there will be something here for you, even if you're an Army of Darkness fan. As I said, no hate towards Army of Darkness, but there'll probably be enough charm for Evil Dead fans for this film. I probably won't give this a rating in here, since I said it's a bit different. I'll probably have a video out soon or something where I rank all the films and probably rate them, but who knows? That's whenever I feel like doing something again. So for now, this is where I sign off, and see you in another couple months whenever I feel like returning.